Brantford Kinsmen Ribfest was scheduled for August 7th to 9th this year. I'm now joined by Jeffrey Harding. Jeffrey, can you talk about how this year's Ribfest has been postponed?
Sure. So it's kind of hard to believe. You spent so much time organizing it from October, basically, is when we started for when we always start for the following year. So things have already been well underway for quite a while, although it takes a little bit for the general public to start seeing that in ways of advertisement, posters, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, we were rolling, and then everything basically came to a dead stop. So we didn't even get as far. As other festivals, I guess you would say, in the area, like What the Fest, for example, had all their lineup booked and secured. This kind of just hit about a month after I was taking entertainment applications, and then we just kind of knew that it was coming a little bit, so we just kind of stopped everything. So nothing really happened past the middle of February.
And so normally a festival like this is a big draw for the city, for tourism, for local people to come. What do you think the impact will be not being able to hold it this year?
Well, yeah, so Ribfest usually gets about 30,000 over the course of the weekend. Um, And yeah, there's some people that they do come down and stay in hotels and that sort of thing because they do come multiple days for music and the food and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it has an impact not only on the local economy in that regard, but also from our perspective and the funds that we're trying to raise for our charities. I don't know how much you know about the Kinsmen, but a lot of our support goes towards cystic fibrosis. So there's that, and then other local charities as well, which benefit from the money that Ribfest brings in. Now, Ribfest is a free event to attend every year, but we do accept donations at the gate. And over the course of the weekend, it's several $1,000s from just the gate alone, in addition to sales from the beer garden. And, we get a proceeds from other areas of the park as well, the event as well. So.
And certainly most charities are going to struggle through this time because every fundraiser and event has pretty much been canceled until the fall.
Yeah, I mean, there was an entire list of events that were on the announcement that the city released last week. Um, and a lot of people might look at that and see, a list of this and just know the names. But for us, it's a little different. We know all those people because they're in the same line of work as we are. And in the there's a motorcycle ride that's been canceled, like Desiree's ride. I'm not sure they were on the list for the Canada Day or for the city's website, but they've canceled all their rides for the summer, and they've been growing over the last several years. So I mean, they're going to be in Chatham-Kent. They've got a Brantford one, they got a Niagara run, and plus, in addition to their actual fundraisers that they do, they go out to events like Ribfest, like Canada Day in the community to help spread the word about their organization and their events too. So they're getting hit from this perspective of not being able to have their events, and then they're getting hit from the perspective of not being able to grow their event or grow their foundation or whatever you want to call it by advertising an event like ours. Plus, for people that are busy volunteering and stuff like that, it's the only opportunity that we get to see people in the summertime, that are in the same line of work. For bands, for me specifically, I get to see everyone over the course of the weekend that I might not see again and play all summer. So, it's very much part of a lot of people's summers, just not in the planning of the event, but also in being there all weekend and just hanging out and having a good time and trying to do something good for the community. So there's going to be a lot of that missing this summer, a lot of the camaraderie of that, I think.
Yeah, and certainly if we do get the orders of lifting and people allowing to congregate again, there's not going to be any event. So,
Well, and that's the difficult thing. Like this has been, rolling out across the province for a while. Like I used to live in Chatham, so there's some events that started getting canceled for May down there, just like the week that this started rolling out, and people were, voicing their disappointment as they tend to do online, for better or for worse. And somebody said, "I don't understand how this happens or how this is going to work. Like that's not till May." And I just commented very politely and said, from someone that does work behind the scenes on a major events, like you don't realize what goes into this. Like the fencing has to be ordered, or all the porta potties. water for the food vendors, the removal for like the grease, all that kind of stuff, just stuff that the public doesn't see, so they wouldn't necessarily think about, but that has to be in place. All those plans have to be approved, like the site layout, which is going to be a new one for us this year because we're at the Civic Center, supposed to be at the Civic Center this year. That was a whole new site map. It's not like you're using the same thing from the past years anymore. So, COVID aside, there was a few things that were going to be different for this year anyway that we were going to have to work through. So, um, you know, and then in regards to the city kind of not made the decision for us, but they basically said no events on city property, which is kind of saving us the decision of making the decision ourselves and pulling the plug. Which, when you've created something and you've gotten something off the ground for this length of time, it's very difficult to, say health and safety wise too, because this is going to be a hit. The Kinsmen have also canceled their car show for September, which runs at the Paris Fairgrounds every September, and that's been around for decades. So
Yeah, a lot of charities would have to be putting forth deposits and things like that, and you
that's
want to
right.
mitigate your losses, right? Now, you are going to postpone, providing things settle down for next year. Give me the
Yeah.
details about that.
So it'll be August 6th to 8th, 2021 is when the next Ribfest will be, and I guess it'll still be the 11th annual since there's not one this year. I don't know what the rules are on that, but yeah. So it's been a decade anyway, and hopefully we'll be back to normal. Like I said, we didn't get to the point where there's confirmation really of any entertainment that I could even tease a little bit, that sort of thing. In regards to all the applications that were received this year for entertainment, as well as food and marketplace, they will all be considered for our 2021 event. And that's basically, we haven't been able to have a meeting, so I don't know what to be able to tell you past that. We just kind of made it an executive decision, a couple of us, in regards to the social media posts last week and that sort of thing. So.
Okay, so if people want to follow along to know for next year, where do they get that information? How can
Yep.
they?
Our website is brantfordribfest.com. They can also like us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/brantfordribfest. And they can follow us on Twitter as well, twitter.com/brantfordribfest, but without the T at the end. It's just kind of Brantford Ribfest. ran out of characters.
All right, well, thank you again for joining me, and best of luck to you.
Thanks so much, Patti.